PONYO was to be fitted out with a new engine, and to not go crazy we went to the mainland for a road trip. Since after 10 days the engine still hadn't arrived, we decided to go to Germany and spend Christmas with family and friends. The day after Christmas, Rick and I flew back to Sardinia without the boys, because we didn't want them to live on a construction site. We're back in Sardinia. On the way to Olbia. I'm still sick. And this is Rick. The plane just took us to the northeast of the island. Good morning. But PONYO was in the southwest.
Good morning.
We had a long journey ahead of us.
So we're going by train to the boat from north of Sardinia to the south of Sardinia.
And the windows are very dirty. Wow! Look at that! The new baby, the new heart, and it's so clean. So obviously the engine had arrived, but it wasn't installed yet. This is Andrea, by the way, our shipyard angel. It would take 2 more weeks to install everything properly, and the boat was ripped open. We have to sleep on the floor. The only left space. We have to improvise.
It's our new bed.
The guest cabin is full of stuff. Yannick's cabin is half full of stuff and also smells kind of funky. Teenage smelly. Yari's cabin is too small, really, for grown-ups. And our cabin is yeah, it's too dark. It's all ripped open. There's no bed. It's just a hole. But I guess we have to get up quite early in the morning, because now we are literally sleeping above the engine. Good night. We spent a quiet New Year's Eve, just the 2 of us, but the next day we were in for a surprise. Oh, it smells so good. So, we've been invited by this guy from the marina who speaks a little bit of German. But we thought that he was going to be here, but now we just have a table for 2 and we have no idea what's going on. But it looks all very delicious. Oops.
Kotze forever.
I just made a mess. I tried to handle the pasta and catapulted one of the vongole in my wine. And more stuff. Looks so good, and I just don't know where to put it. I'm so full.
That's enough for the whole week.
No.
Okay, let's add to tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Or maybe this evening.
But it's really strange because the guy who invited us, he's not here. We don't even know who he is. We still don't know if he's the boss of the shipyard. We have no idea. He just told us to come here at this time. And we get food and lots and lots and lots and lots of food. We were so full that we took the opportunity to take a walk in Sant'Antioco, the little island where we had been stuck for almost 2 weeks. This is Sant'Antioco, by the way, one of the earliest Christian who came to Sardinia. He came from North Africa, that's why his skin is quite dark. And Antioco has one of the biggest necropoles of Italy. The day of the engine test run had finally come. But there were problems. So this is the first test run with the new engine. I am not so super excited because there's a problem with the gear shift. It's not as smooth as it's supposed to be. And worst case is that we will have to exchange the propeller. It turned out that our propeller was too big for our new strong engine. At only 1500 rounds per minute we were already going 7 knots. And because that's really not good for the engine, we had to take the boat out and exchange propeller. PONYO weighs 16 tons and it's quite a big operation to take out of the water. It was very cold that day, but luckily Rick and I could stay inside the boat. At one point I had totally forgotten that we weren't inside the water and I almost used the toilet. That would have been crap, pun intended. This is our old propeller. There was nothing wrong with it except that it was too big. It was a shame we couldn't use it. We were lucky. The shipyard had a smaller propeller in store, and in the late afternoon they were able to put PONYO back in the water. The next test run went fine. We were definitely not going too fast anymore. I had to leave Rick behind in Sardinia and fly to Brussels for a job. And on my way back to the boat, I picked up Yari, who had been with his grandparents the whole time. Yannick was still having fun in England with his old school friends. When we got back, the boat was still a mess and the weather was just terrible. It was so cold that Yari had to sleep in the deck saloon in front of the electric heater.
Don't make a movie, just hit me.
I hit you?
You hit me. Man, help me.
I can hit you. With what? You have the choice. I can hit you with many things here. So finally the boat was ready, but we still had to wait for the weather to calm down. The winter in the Mediterranean can be quite uncomfortable. It stormed, rained and hailed for 3 straight days. But fortunately there was still so much to do on the boat, so we didn't get bored. Hail in Sardinia! The wind was screaming last night. Good morning, Yari. But it can't rain forever, and eventually the sky cleared up and we were ready to go. We said our goodbye to the fantastic shipyard crew and to our old engine. Bye bye, old engine. It cost us so much money and nerves and time. We are leaving! Yeah. After almost 3 months, we were finally able to continue our adventures. We were excited and nervous at the same time. There were 250 nautical miles to go to Mallorca, our longest trip so far. We were also using our brand new autopilot for the first time. We had installed one because long trips can be so exhausting if you have to hand steer day and night. Aha! Yeah. That was the second time. The first was more. It was breakfast. There's not so much left now. I don't know if you can see this, but the waves are not so pleasant. Yeah. He ran downstairs because he can't stand the smell and the noise. Rick threw up! First time I saw him throwing up. He doesn't get motion sick or seasick. Normally, things are flying around. Oh! Bottle of wine. Lucky it didn't break. Oops. Yeah, we've been on land too long. We forgot to do our homework to really fix everything and tighten everything and store everything, and And Rick is cleaning the deck because there was no time for him to grab a bag. He threw up on the deck. And now I have to stop filming because I'm actually feeling a little bit sick again now. Okay, we are here about 50 nautical miles away from the Sardinian coast. I looked so terrible because I think I made like 3, 4, 5 bags full. It's the worst when you have to puke and there's nothing in the stomach anymore, but you still have to puke. Rick had to throw up several times, even Yari. And the sun is shining, which is nice. It makes it a little bit warmer. Rick says we have a rough sea. Aha! We are, was sagt man nochmal Krägung auf Englisch? Healing. Yes, healing. Quite a bit. And since we are all wearing socks, it's difficult to get up and do something. We just slide back. I have a very dry mouth and a dry lips because I took this anti-throwing up pills, Vomix, and they make the mouth very dry, and I feel very, very, very drowsy. But I'm not seasick right now, and I hope it stays like that. We will have a long night, hopefully arrive tomorrow evening. Oh, yeah. It's too dark, you can't really see it, but Rick is putting in the third reef. Wind is good, we have wind from the south, but we saw some Wetterleuchten. I don't know how to say this in English, like a little bit of lightning. And we just want to make sure. We had the situation once that we had too much sail up. And we would prefer to sail because it's still quite choppy. Just using the engine is not comfortable. Day 2 of the Mallorca passage. So we just decided we are going to go all the way to Mallorca. Yeah, the weather's good. We're all very tired. Rick just went down to get a little bit of sleep. It's not so easy because we are heeling to the side where the beds are not. That means wherever you sleep, you just fall out. But the boat is fine. We have to really tidy up next time better. Lesson learned. Everything flew about. It's a mess. I don't even want to think about what's broken glasses and never mind. So we have the best sailing conditions. We are going between 7 and 8 knots. Tomorrow noon-ish we should maybe be in Mallorca. Oh, and I forget, I love the autopilot. Look, standing there hand steering. It's a wonder, it's a miracle. I am trying to make some pasta. It's not so easy as you can see. Ah! Are you hungry?
Autopilot! Yay! Mallorca!
Mallorca! In winter, it's grey and rainy. Are you complaining already?
Just looking at the houses.
The houses? Except for the old city, not so pretty. Yari is daydreaming. Tune in next time when we check out the city of Palma by foot and the island by car. Yannick is finally back on the boat and we get mugged. And we have the most spectacular but rolliest anchorage ever.